Monster Hunter World came out in 2018. I remember the first reveal trailer of this game, and I really wanted to play it. The whole fighting a massive monster with the sword intrigued me. Then he whipped out a machine gun and I was sold. Back then I was proper into shooters, so obviously my one cell of a brain saw a gun and agreed to play it. 3,000 years have passed and all of a sudden gamers are flooding back into WoW. All thanks to the Monster Hunter Wilds reveal in the Game Awards and the devs just telling players to jump back in. The dedication of Monster Hunter fans really pulled through. We even have some huge creators like Asmongold playing the game for the very first time. So I am here to tell you why you should also, if you haven't already, play Monster Hunter World. Also, this is just my own perspective and experience. So if you've already played the game, drop down in the comments below why you like playing Monster Hunter World. Firstly, when I started playing, I was trying to understand the story. Even though I said my brain only understood shooters back then, I was also interested in the game's story. Now, I'm not gonna go into detail with what I was interested in back then, but I tried to understand the story of Monster Hunter World, and I gave up. I wonder if I just made some enemies saying that, but I don't think the story of this game is good. The reason why is because no one is explaining to me why these monsters haven't eliminated mankind already. Also, this game is complete fiction, so that's where I gave up and just believe that we can fight off and survive against these dragons or other things. Either way, for me at least, I don't play this game for the story, sadly. I'm sure somewhere in the vast internet I could look up the lore, and I'm sure it's very interesting. But I've got other things to do in this game, like killing this damn dinosaur. Combat here is what kept me going, because I like to hack and slash. Other than pew pew guns are fun, the other thing that would keep my gamer brain occupied is hack and slash games. If I heard Devil May Cry, I was there. If I heard Ninja Gaiden, I was there. But I only played Ninja Gaiden 2. If I heard Bayonetta, I was there. Or something. Either way, I was there. Monster Hunter World is close to a hack and slash game. It's not exactly a hack and slash game because we're not juggling enemies or easily stunning them. It's just fighting a lot of bosses for 10 or more minutes, and you can do combos. I think I used to hear people that haven't played Monster Hunter say, why would you want to fight the same guy for more than 10 minutes? Like, doesn't it get boring? Aren't you torturing yourself?
Why are we still here? Just to suffer.
Obviously, when you look at this gameplay, it does look boring. Sorry Lance users for doing you dirty like that. I like the Lance as well, so don't you worry. However, when you can pull off moves like this, or when you do this, that's when the game gets a bit more interesting. Diving more into this combat hole, this game has 14 different weapons to play with, and these weapons are not that simple. You can't just pick up a weapon and start using it straight away. I mean, you can, but good luck with the rest of the game. It takes some time to understand how one of these weapons work. It takes an even longer time when you don't watch any YouTube videos on how to use the charge blade. The game doesn't exactly tell players how to use a weapon, so without the help of YouTube videos, you probably didn't know that the Greatsword has a tackle move that lets you super armor through a monster's attack. Or you probably didn't know that letting go of the Greatsword's charge attack at the right time does more damage. I totally knew about this one when I started using the weapon. These weapons are all unique, and it's one of the things that keeps the game engaging. I'd say it's like learning how to use a character in a fighting game, where each of them have their own moves for you to learn. Just that it's not insanely difficult to learn how to use these weapons, and it's one of the reasons why you'll never catch me trying to learn how to play Tekken or some other fighting game. It's why Monster Hunter players say they main this weapon or that weapon, because the weapons take time to learn how to use. But once you get good with another weapon, that's when the game gets even more fun. Fighting the same monster but with a different weapon changes up the experience of the fight. And the more I think about it, the more insane this game gets. Now I know Monster Hunter as a whole has done this already, but let me just focus on Monster Hunter World, okay? Base Monster Hunter World has 37 large monsters to fight, and Iceborne, this game's DLC, brought that number up to 71 monsters. So 71 monsters times 14 weapons to use brings that up to 994 ways of fighting each monster, only if you know how to use every weapon and actually defeat every monster with it. That's a lot of ways of playing this game, and there's no way in hell am I doing that. Maybe. Now that I've mentioned fighting monsters, let's talk about them. Every monster has their own movesets that you need to learn in order to beat their ass faster. Huh? Okay, that sounds kind of wrong, but it is the reality. Wake the f up, samurai! Also, some of these monsters are just a reskin of another, so it's kinda less than 71 monsters. Anyways, the thing about this game is that there is no difficulty slider. You're not allowed to choose the difficulty here. The difficulty finds you. If you can't handle it, that's when you have a skill issue. Okay, but really, the first couple of monsters are the easy monsters that make you think that this game is nothing. Oh, and if you haven't already figured it out, when I talk about monsters, I'm basically saying bosses. Yes, there's 71 bosses in this game. So, going back on track. Obviously, this game has to introduce a complete noob to the game by sending them what I like to call throwaway monsters. Great Jagras, Kuruyaku, Baruf, these are easy level monsters. Then when Anjanath steps in, that's where I drop the game. This damn T-Rex is what most say is a skill check. This dude is more aggressive than the other monsters at the start of the game. And that's when you gotta start diving deep with, I gotta start learning his attack patterns. Or maybe I need to use a better weapon. I'd say this is when the game either hooks or unhooks you from playing. And it certainly didn't hook me. But I went back to it because I'm no quitter. I guess I do have a city to burn. You'd think that after defeating this guy, you should have gotten better enough to fight the next monsters, right? Well, that's when the spiky boy comes in. There might be some other monsters that will cause problems for the player, but that all depends on your skill, which is another reason why Monster Hunter gamers played this game. Using your knowledge of how to use the weapon along with fighting a monster is what will test your skill. You have to be able to read a monster's attack so that you can either evade it or use it to your advantage. Like, I'm not only talking about attacking it after it does an attack. I'm talking about countering it with a lance or using the longsword's foresight slash. Damn, does it feel good timing that. Fighting monsters gives you that same experience whenever you play a Souls game, when you gotta learn the boss's attack patterns. It's why some people compare Monster Hunter with Dark Souls when it comes to fighting monsters and bosses. Except that we Monster Hunters can't see the monster's health bar, and it kinda annoyed me at first, but that's what keeps the game's realism in check. If you were fighting a kangaroo in real life, you're not gonna see a health bar. I heard someone say something like that, and that's what rebooted my brain. Then we have armor customization, or more like armor building. This is the other thing that I like doing. Okay, so I'm not gonna show you guys just me building a whole armor set, because that's boring. So let me put up more gameplay to keep your mind engaged. I find it fun building armor sets, because I'd say there's a specific point in the game where the armor you begin with, or the random armor pieces that you build, just isn't enough for you to fight the harder monsters. That's when you gotta optimize your armor setup so that you can have specific skills that will help you either inflict more damage, gain more resistances, or improve your weapon. There might be more to it, but it's basically that. Building these armor sets aren't free though, so that's when farming monsters come in. This is where all my time has disappeared to, fighting the same monsters over and over again, because some of them just don't drop that one material that you need to make that single weapon or armor piece. Kieran, listen, can you please drop more than 1 or 2 horns? Please! At least it's fun fighting them. And if you want to spice it up, use a different weapon, because as I said before, using a different weapon changes up the experience. Although I would never change this hammer to defeat Kirin because this guy deserves to be stunned. There's even more stuff that I could label, but I'm gonna just end this video with this. After getting your ass beat multiple times against that one monster, after healing from all the damage that monster has done to you, after evading all of those attacks that could have possibly killed you, when you nail that final hit, that is the best feeling that you can get from this game. That's what every Monster Hunter gamer is here for. That victory against that monster. Then it's just a constant loop of that feeling that gets you really hooked to this game. I didn't mention multiplayer in this video because I mostly play this game solo, but when you play with your friends or even randoms, it does make the fight even more fun. The difficulty of the monster scales up to how many players are hunting it, so working together to hunt a monster is pretty fun and helpful. Anyways, that's it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you later.